Hello, everyone. Welcome to Basically Anything, where we talk about just that, basically anything. I'm your host, Spider, and I'm accompanied by my friend Adam.
Hello, everyone.
And today's topic, we're gonna be talking about furries. So, I'll be honest. I do not condone furries. I do not like furries, and I do not want to be associated with furries.
Hmm. My side of it is that personally, I don't give a shit if you're a furry or not. Just don't try to bring me up into being a furry. Like, for instance, I have a friend who's into the whole furry community and all that. He likes to dwell onto those the websites, very popular one, E621, and I just I just pretty much ignore him and just tell him, oh, just good for you, man. Just don't like bring it up to me and
Now,
don't.
now, I do think that there should be rules implemented in schools and stuff like that because people like that, like you know the whole rule if you have like dyed hair, like if it's like bright red or blue or something like that, it's a distraction in the school book. Well, sometimes I'll be in school, right, and I'm in high school. Let's just get that straight. And I'll see people with the little furry ears and tails. Now, that's a distraction to me, not the dyed hair. That is the distraction to me.
Yeah, I rarely saw that at one point when there was a little event in my school back in, I don't know, I think it was like middle school or something. Um, some guy, he was like wearing, he was actually proud to be a furry, no joke. But he wore like, I don't know, he wore little paws on his hand. He had a tail and furry ears. He didn't have a mask on. He's just whatever. And it kind of was a distraction to me. And at the point, it's something that you don't get used to looking at. It's just, oh, it's just there to, it's kind of distracting, and you just want to look away from it. And that's when, there are people in this world you need to just, you need to probably get along with. Not really, but just to.
And it's funny too because I have a story when uh, my ninth grade art teacher, there was a woman who had a tail on, a full on tail, paws and ears, and
Jesus, a teacher.
and the no, not the teacher. She was talking to a student. I didn't clarify that, but yeah, she was talking to a student that had that on, and she pulled her out of the classroom and said that you're in high school, you shouldn't be wearing this, and I honestly agree with that because I think it's dumb. I really do because you're dressing up every day as an animal, and it's cringeworthy, and it really does make me want to cry. It just really does. It's bad. It's just every time I think about furries, they just it just it's so just cringeworthy. Just think that a grown man or a grown woman wants to go out into the world every day, drive their car, go to work, go to the movies, dressed up in this hot ass suit that they know they're sweating in there. It smells bad. They have to spray themselves with Axe in the bathroom 24/7 because how bad it smells in there. It benefits nobody. It doesn't even benefit the people that enjoy that stuff because they are sweating. You can't eat in that suit. It's gonna get all over the fur. You can't wash it. It's dumb.
Oh fuck. Uh, there's something else to that. Actually, I want to bring that up. I want to bring up something else with that topic, of course. The whole furry thing has also been kind of a big deal over, certain video games. Like, for instance, Five Nights at Freddy's. I've heard like a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a furry game and all that," and if you play it, it makes you a furry. And the whole point is that, firstly, whenever you play, you can't really call someone a furry unless they are proven to be a furry. Like, for instance, if I was to play, I don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's, that they'll just straight up call you furry. But then you're like, oh well, do you see me wearing a fucking fursuit? taking selfies and shit, or have going to those anthrocons or whatever the fuck. Like, come on.
The, and that's another thing. I don't understand if it's a fetish, if it's enjoyable for them. Just everything about them.
What I heard is that it's something to express themselves. Like, you
Express
know,
what? Their mental illness? It's bad. It's dumb. It's so
like
dumb.
if you look it up on Google, it deals with something about expressing themselves and getting out of reality, being different or something.
Well,
If
they
you
can
look it
get
up
out
on
of this town if they want to. They can get out of this country as well. I don't want them here. It's scary, like the furry cons. You're let's just say you're going. I don't know. Let's
No,
just
it's
say
funny. Well, it's funny over here at in New York City, they did have FurryCon, right? And it went tough to be a huge mess. So they ended up. I think I heard having to make those stupid FurryCons at the northeast, the west, at the
now, now one
western area.
one big furry con that I do know of is I'm pretty sure it's Furry Weekend Atlanta, FWA, and every time I think about it, I think should I use all my money that I made this month and spend it on food to survive, or
That's the
should I
point.
or should I
That's
save the
something.
human race by taking a flamethrower that I use that I should be buying food with and just burning down that whole convention?
People could spend their money on whatever, but the way I look at it is that these people spend money on like fursuits, and I understand they're part of furry community. They want to express themselves. They want to meet new. But come on, dude, that's like hard-earned fucking cash you're spending right there. Like could you at least have enough money for food? Like, come on, man, you're buying fursuits and shit. Like, come on, I'd fucking pay my rent with that kind of money. Like, $1,000 of fursuit, dude. I'd fucking pay $1,000 for my rent and food, and my power bill and shit. But that's pretty much them, and they could spend their money or whatever I want. I can't really judge on that. But if that was me, I'd spend it on responsibility, and that would be on my fucking phone bills and shit.
And something I really have to take into consideration that all right, so imagine you're a proud father, right? You're married and you have one kid, and that kid comes up to you, and let's just say they're around 6 at the time, and they're acting like a dog and all that, and you think it's funny, and I don't know, they call themselves Sparky or something, and they keep on putting on your dog's leash, and you just think it's funny because they're a kid and they want to act like an animal. But let's flash forward 10 years. That 6-year-old kid is now 16, and he goes to school dressed up as the same animal that he thought of Sparky when he was 6 years old. How does that make you feel as a parent?
Well, to be honest, I'd have to say that's not as bad as for for a child like that to be called out, to come out as coming out of the closet like that. In my perspective, if I was a father, I it's I know it's for some parents it's hard to take in for that, and but me personally, I mean that's my fucking kid, and I can't really you know just be a dick or something. Be honest with him, I would try to support him with something like that. But
Uh,
I mean, if it was, yeah, if it was something like, oh, if they asked me, oh, hey, can you pay money for this first that I want? I'd be like, no, you have what you have. You're gonna use it. I'm not gonna pay money for your fursuit.
then they'll
If you
come up
were,
to you and just be like, "Daddy, this is who I am. I'm not this boy named Tyrone. I'm Sparky the dog. Let me be, Dad. Let me see Zootopia too, Dad, please."
but still, like that's the whole point. It's just, I'd just be like, no, like I'm not gonna pay. Make you happy. I'd buy a PlayStation 4.
And those people are just they're ruining everything for me. So let's just say me, back in the day, I forgot when the movie came out, but I went to the movie theaters to see Zootopia, and I was like, okay, it's just a film. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna see how it is. And I want to go there and enjoy those types of movies that have animals as the character because that's fiction. and things like that. That's fiction, animals talking, and getting along. But I don't want to be sitting down at the movie theater. I have my popcorn, I have my soda, and I look beside me in this just pile of sweat. You can just smell the ammonia just lingering. You look over and you got just a bundle of fur. You tap on their shoulder and they look down at you. The whole mouth is mechanicalized and is moving as if it was their own. And they're like, "Yes." That stuff is bad. It ruins my movie experience. They're making Rule 34 off of uh, Judy Hopps or whatever her name was.
Well,
Bunny.
that went to a whole new direction.
It
Should be Rule
ruins it
34 in
ruins
general.
it ruins media. Like I'll be sitting there and I'll just be all normal again. Let's just I go to like a one of those drive-in movies. They'll play like an older film. Just to get people out and enjoy the scenery. Just have a memory to last forever. Well, I can't have that when I'm going into the drive-in movie theater to see The Lion King and I see some grown man in a fursuit crying over Mufasa's death. I can't have that. I can't have that. And then I'll go home and the same guy who was crying is now on
This is
he went to Twitter and Facebook to post Rule 34 on Mufasa. I can't have that.
this is why we have DVDs and Blu-ray case. Just wait, and we have streaming
Are
and
you trying
piracy.
are you trying to defend them saying that they should go in public? I don't want anything near me like that.
Look, it's hell for that. It would be so rare for like you're just watching the Zootopia, and then out of nowhere you see a fursuiter, like whatever. You can either, if you either one is sit away from them, or just probably get out of theater. If I was me in that situation,
No, you know what we should do? Okay, you can come to the theater all you want, but we're you got like you got an illness, okay? You have an infection. I don't want to be infected with the furry syndrome or whatever. So that episode of SpongeBob where like SpongeBob is all contained in this like bubble? They should contain them in that bubble. Okay? Like I don't want them anywhere near me.
oh shit. uh,
And another thing
like
is that they're giving these people jobs, okay? And
they're giving furries jobs. Like, how does that
yes,
work?
they
Because
are. They're giving furries jobs in
that
some
sounds like
states.
something. That's not when I hear that. It's like a furry on YouTube putting ads on their videos. Like
And
that's what I'm seeing right now.
and I don't
Explain that. Explain how. What is that? What do you mean by like the whole furries with jobs? Like what is that?
uh it's some states, that they'll offer jobs to them. And I'm scared.
I think I have recalled.
Yeah, they're giving them like jobs, where they'll be in full costume and everything. And I'm gonna be scared one day in the future, like 2020 rolls around. I'm having like a whole like party, and I'm gonna order pizza or something like that. And I call a pizza place. They come to the door. I don't want Nick Wilde to come up and just offer me my pizza. I could say you can keep it at that point.
At that point, you're saying to yourself, "What it was like Five Nights at Freddy's already?"
It is. These people, just furry people in general, just every time I think about them, like they should be under the illness they should have is just let's just call it Down syndrome at this point. You're,
Downs.
it's just dumb. It's like a man child, but like they have the responsibilities of an adult, but they're acting like a child by dressing up as this furry creature. And during Halloween, it's even worse because they still won't take off their sweaty uniform. I'll call it their sweaty skin. And they'll dress that up. They'll dress up the thing. So instead of just having a normal furry for Halloween, like, oh, it's a fur costume. You're dressed up as a fox. No, this is me. I'm dressed up as a police officer. So now we have that fat cheetah police officer, Clawhauser or whoever from Zootopia during Halloween.
Holy shit. Oh fuck, man. Then you see, then you see those what are those? You have little animals as the hood or something, like a jumpsuit or something.
Mm-hmm.
or whatever they sell at Party City, they'll start buying that. And see, there's cringiness to the furry community, and that's the whole, kids like wanting to be whoever the hell, or um buying those cheap ass Party City things that you can see their face, but it's just the hoodie over it or something.
That's one
Uh,
step closer to becoming just non-associated with me, is what I say.
I've also seen something like that. This was in high school, actually. It's like somebody was wearing it was whatever, and this was Halloween. This was Halloween in school, yeah. But I'm saying to myself, that's their hobby. I'm not gonna go up to them and insult them, because number one, that'll be
I
a dick
would.
move, and two, the fucking teacher will apprehend me and
All
send me to detention.
that's
Like, no
another
joke.
thing. That's
Like, I'm
another
not a
thing.
dick in real life. I'm very, very like
All they want is attention, is what I think of it as. It's one of those people. It's kind of like how like modern emos are. They'll slit their wrists and be like, we're all black, and they're just like, oh, give me attention type of thing. That's what I see this as. That's what I really see this as. And I don't know where furries originated from, but
um.
I wish I
ok-
could go back in time and just stop it all. It's so
Well,
bad.
it's funny because from what I know and in what I've heard, somebody who was big in the who's like he's knee deep in the furry fandom. He was inspired by various, believe it or not, but this was from like cartoon shows and all that. This is where it kind of originated from. Like, obviously, you got Lion King and all that, and Looney Tunes. That's something.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, that's how. No joke. Some furries have even admit to it. Like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I used to watch Looney Tunes and all that. And I used to watch Lion King and all that stuff.
I used to
And
watch that stuff, but
then
I'm
when I
not a
started,
furry.
then at the early in later years, the furry community started to, become big, and then out of nowhere, he came out as just wanting to be furry, and yeah, he's a furry. But for me personally, I I don't. I just find I find the whole thing not as what you said, a fucking sickness or anything. I just find it as a hobby, and it's just, that's for me, that's to leave it like that. I don't find furs to be like super toxic or cancerous. I just think they're just people in fursuits. And
No,
that's their hobby. That's like me playing video games and all that. That's separate or whatever. And your opinion I mean, look, I know we have different opinions, like, but I know from your end it sounds like I'm defending him, but to be honest, I'm not. I'm giving out my honest this is my perspective of it. I'm not defending them. They could defend themselves. I don't want to defend them or anything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much that.
yeah. Now, I have encountered this as well. During my middle school years, late middle school, seventh, eighth grade,
Yeah, yeah,
those
like same a year like you. I've stumbled across like people who are furries. Like, this is out of nowhere. Okay, sitting lunch and out of nowhere they just bring up furries and all that, and I'd be like, oh yeah, yeah, I know what those are and whatever. They'll start talking about it, and I'll just sit and listen. Just be like, oh yeah, well that's your hobby. I want to listen to why he like, has interest into furries. That's pretty much me, right? Like, now, like, just hearing people's, like, how do they become, what made you become furry, and most of that was from middle school and high school.
n-
And
now what I was saying was in middle school, there was this woman and her friend, and they wore like the gloves, the ears, and the tail thing, and this is something that also kind of gets me into thinking that, like, do these people have a mental issue? So I was very, let's just say, unfortunate on my end to actually have a class with her, and so we were sitting in the classroom, normal, get out like your books and everything, and read what's on the board and just wait for the teacher to start. And here come these kids, and they started talking and pointing at her because obviously she's wearing ears and has a tail sticking out through like the whole crack in the back of the chair. And her paws, she can't even write because of her paws. See, that's another like disadvantage of being a furry, is that you can't write with your paws. That's why humans have thumbs and fingers. So uh, Miss Kitty here was sitting, and people were pointing and saying things about her, and the person across from her desk, because we were separated in groups of four, was like talking about her and making fun of her. So then she went to the principal's office and says, "I'm getting made fun of for how I'm dressing." That's something that just
Wow.
it triggers me so much, because no wonder you're getting made fun of, because you're wearing this ridiculous stuff. It's not Halloween. It's not time for this. This is school, and you're dressing up as an animal, and it's just, I hate how they think, why am I getting bullied, when you could literally fix the fact that you're getting bullied by take off the tail, take off the paws, and take off the ears. And I'm gonna be a little nice here and say, not go all like against it. I'm gonna say, if you do want to do this stuff, leave it at home, okay? Do not go out in public dressed up as Judy Hopps, Lieutenant Judy Hopps, and try to get a job, try to go to the grocery store, because odds are you're going to either get pointed at, made fun of, or probably beaten and robbed if you're in Chicago. But it, but just keep it to yourself. Just keep it to yourself, okay? Just keep it in that closet. Just lock yourself in that closet at home, and just or in public. But when you're at home, come out of the closet, okay? That's the best I can say about the furry situation.
Yeah. s- I mean, for people showing off being a furry, that I have in my high school, yeah, I have seen someone draw little, they drew little fan art, like little drawings of little furries and all that. And I went up to him and says, "Oh, looks pretty nice." And they were like saying, "Oh, thank you," and all that. And I asked him, "Well, do you draw anything else other than these little furry animals?" And they were saying, "Oh yeah, I actually do. They have a Devinar and all that, and they post whatever type anime and all that, and whatever the hell." And that's something I like. Like if someone was a furry, then they would do something like that. See, that's not as worse as dressing up as a fursuit, because oh, we're in school, we don't want to dress up like a furry and all that. And I think the best option for that is just, I don't know, draw like for them to just draw whatever. And oh fuck.
Yeah,
I
just
mean, drawing animals doesn't really make you.
no,
They say
no.
they end up saying no, like, oh, I draw because it's fun. I mean, that's the whole like whatever to it. Like, okay, they're not, they draw animals, they're not fur. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it doesn't, but
But yeah,
drawing animals is not.
there's literally a huge argument debate about it. Like the whole, like, someone calling you out being furry because you do this, you like this show, you like Zootopia. I get hit with these fucking arguments, and I seriously take them as a joke. I just do, because I just end up ignoring it. Like, no, it doesn't make you a furry. Watching Zootopia or whatever doesn't make it's a fucking kids show. Drawing little animals, that's art. That's just a drawing to show off your flex out your creative skills. I mean, I can respect that, because I do draw myself, and I had my fair share. But yeah, that's the whole argument I want to bring up, is that there's those, some are take all of them that I had are taken as jokes. Some of them are serious. For instance, playing I don't know, I was playing whatever Call of Duty, and some guy was calling me a fucking furry when my profile picture had like a Five Nights at Freddy's thing on the background. And yeah, they started making fun of me about it, and I was like, oh, whatever, dude, and then just ended up just ignoring them and all that. And then they started. That's another story, but yeah, that's something I like want to bring up there. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't really call them a fur. you have unless you see them, I don't know, wearing a tail or them admitting it to it. And yeah,
Another topic that I was thinking about just now is, let's just say, these furries, right? They let's just say, around the age group of 18 to 25, and they dress up as, furries. They live life as furries, as animals, and
sleeping in the fursuits,
yeah, sleeping in the
taking a
fursuits.
shower in the fursuits.
Yep, the man behind the fursuits are just battered and beaten. It it's bad. Like, ever seen that episode of Adventure Time where Finn had to solve all the problems without using violence, and you had that old man who was naked in the springs on top of the mountain? Yeah, that
Yeah.
man. That's who's in the suit, because they haven't shaven, they haven't done anything, they haven't left that suit. There's pee everywhere. There's feces down the leg holes, and that man, right? That man living his life in the fursuit, and let's 18 to 25, they're doing this stuff. When they get older, when they're around like 60, 60ish, 70, or even before then, like 40, 50, and they look back on their life, they're like grandparents at this point. They look back on their life and they think, I wasted my life dressing up as an animal. Just, I wonder how it would hit them like that. Like, I wasted my life as as Sparky the dog, or Foxtail the the detective.
That would awe me. Is like, how would somebody that would hit that low if someone was a furry and they would just hit that low, like not ever get out of the suit? There must be somebody out there who has done something like that. And if so, well, just what the hell? Just, oh God, it's just, that's pretty scary thinking about it. Like you can't get out of it. It's like that one episode in Goosebumps where that girl she couldn't like remove her mask, something with a mask or something. She couldn't fucking remove it or
Or
something.
maybe, what if this is like a like a traumatic experience has led them to be turning into these animals, so to say. Like, I'm still trying to piece together, and if anyone is even listening to this, if you're a furry, I would really, really just love to sit down and talk to you for a bit on why you're a furry, how you became a furry. But like, the traumatic experience, what if like that whole character kind of like sues them, like, oh, I wish I wasn't this person. It kind of like the whole emo kind of phase, like, they take the razor blades, they cut themselves because it makes them feel better and forget. Or like stoners, like some stoners will sit in their room and like smoke weed and just forget about everything. What if furries just act like they're animals and think that they're animals to get away from
From
their problems?
actually, from what I know is that when they're whatever they play as a character from like a they become characters. Like I've seen a lot of like seen one with like I don't know the Digimon or I think it was Pokemon. I'm not even too sure because I don't pay attention to that. But they play as that character and they act like that character. And the way I look at it, that's pretty much a hybrid of a furry and a cosplaying. When I look at it, I think of cosplay, but in the same time, they're in a fursuit, so that
Yeah,
could that be whatever? I
there's
mean,
a thing between cosplaying and actually being a furry, is the thing. because
yeah, there is a difference. There's a difference. I think I'm not too sure,
Because if you go to
but
like if
from
you
what I
go to
saw,
Comic-Con, right? And you like Wolverine, so you're like, oh, I'm gonna grow out like my sideburns and all that, and dress up as Wolverine for like this Comic-Con. And the next day after Comic-Con, you're like, okay, now I'm gonna shave my face, and I'm gonna go back to my normal life. But furries don't do that. They dress up for these conventions, and they go to these conventions as their persona. But after it's all said and done, after the convention's over, the whole week or a couple days on how long the convention lasts, they're still this character.
Yeah, then there is a difference.
There's a difference.
There's a huge difference. Then I'm sorry, that was my mistake. There's a huge difference
Like you don't
between
see the
cosplay and
Wolverine guy
fursuit.
I was talking about the next day being like, I'm a, where's Magneto? That type of thing. The, it's that man is like, I'm just gonna do this for just this one event, and I'm only gonna do it for fun, and I know it's a joke, but these furries take it serious. I bet you if I walked up to that furry at school, they would harass me saying, "No, I'm Fluffy Cat 101 or something like that," and they're gonna argue to me that they are this animal.
I can imagine you just one day in school and like that person they bring up or whoever they bring up their furry friends and they start harassing you, no joke. Like and
I don't
that'd
care if
just
they
be
harass me
that'd
because
be
at least I
sad.
don't have a collar around my neck.
What are those chokers or something?
Like I don't care. Those things still belong like the 90s, the 80s, 90s. Like I no, that's another subject. Is that not non-furries were chokers? And I'm like, why? And it's always the same skinny woman. It always looks exactly the same person, just multiplied. Just this person has time traveled into my school from the 90s, and they always wear the same Nirvana shirt too. And they're always just like, "Oh man, I like Come As You Are by Nirvana." And I just that's a different story. Those types of people, time travelers. I'll just call them time travelers because I swear to God, it's only just one woman.
Those people who say this generation of music is shit. Those type of people.
Well, I mean, it kind of is when you have people like 6ix9ine and XX Operation Date.
All right, we should save that for another topic in the
We
podcast.
do, we do. Well, I
Oh,
mean
shit.
that's all I have to say on furries. Just stay at home, please. If you are a furry, we people in public do not want to see that.
All right.
We really do not.
My my thoughts on furries, I like I said, I'm neutral, I'm chill. Just don't bring me into being furry. Yes, I do. Sometimes you just gotta make jokes about them. Just they're a bit of a meme now. Furries and all that. I just find them as people in fursuits. That's it. Sometimes you need to poke fun at them, and I'm not. That doesn't mean like I hate furries in general. No, I sometimes just need to poke fun at them, but I'm neutral and that I see them as people. You see them as fucking these Nazis over there,
You know,
or no, that's bad. I don't want to compare them to Nazis. Actually, you know what? There is furry Nazis that do exist, and I don't think we have time for that.
you know. I'll
But
say this
that's
too.
them. That's them.
I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate of what I've said about this. And all honesty, this is our first podcast, and I will edit a lot of this out. Cause to be honest, I'm running off of no script, and I had nothing written down. Some of it's good, so if you all do want the extended, uncut version, I will post that. It'll be like I don't know, like an hour long.
It's fucking
But
funny.
I do make
They're
fun
gonna
of.
think they'll think of you as like the Hitler
Yeah,
of whatever.
and you know what?
And
I
they'll think
do
of me as like fucking
open-minded.
FD they'll think of me as the FDR like or whatever.
You know what? There was a quote. You have to make fun of yourself to make fun of others. So I
Exactly,
I
yeah.
will say this, since I did make fun of a whole group of people today. I do look like Leafy is here, but if I had a chin, I look like that. I look like that kid from the Lorax that went to go grow the last Truffula seed. I do look like him, and I do sit in my room a lot and do barely anything, and yeah, there we go. I made fun of myself. Now I can make fun of other people. I hope you all enjoyed your time listening to this podcast, listening to me and Adam talk. Uh, and if you all have any suggestions on what we should talk about, whether it's trending, politics, even though we're trying to stay very far away from that, um, anything on games, any type of culture, any type of media, just anything. We will talk about it. And that's all I have to say. What about you, Adam?
That's it. Like I said, just give us a suggestion, and but please don't let it be first. Well, I think I do have a suggestion, Spider. We should probably talk about since you've brought up Rule 34. I think that should be a future topic. What do you think?
Well,
What do you think?
you know,
Huh?
I would talk about that, but I don't want to get demonetized. And to you personally,
Like that shit.
Oh fuck. Oh.